Guys, welcome to another video. Hope you're having a great day. And today we're going to talk about this beautiful slice of nature right here. This is the biosphere. It's been set up for over 3 months now, so it's about time I'll do an update. So for those of you who don't know what a biosphere is, it's basically like a small terrarium inside a vase, I guess. It has a beautiful LED light on top and air vents to regulate the humidity inside. So normally these biosphere are planted with like your typical terrarium plants like ferns and tillandsias and terrestrial mosses. But I've planted it with aquatic plants that are able to grow immersed. So I've set this up in the end of January, so it's been running for 3 months now. And it's been a real pleasure. This thing is so easy to maintain and it's such a joy to look at. It's almost zero maintenance. So I've set this up in January, end of January. And what have I done since then? I've planted it and I've used aquatic plants that are able to grow immersed, and they were actually already in their immersed form. So they had easier time adjusting to the environment inside the vase. So after I planted it, I closed the lids completely, so it would be nice and humid inside. The glass would cover in water drops and stuff like that. So it was in the first week I couldn't actually see inside. It would just be completely covered with the humidity. But then after a week, I slowly start opening the air vents, and I would just give it a spray every day, just once. Yeah, every week that went by, I would open the air vents a little bit more, just so the plants would slowly adapt to lower humidity, I guess. And I think after about a month, the air vents were completely open. The glass was perfectly clean, there were no more water drops on top of the glass. And actually since then I haven't really done much to it. It doesn't really need any trimming. Well, I could use a little trimming right now, especially the Terrarium mini. That one is not so mini anymore and is kind of taken over. But I like how it looks. I don't think I'm gonna do any trimming. I'm just gonna let it do its thing. So the lights will be on for actually at least 12 hours. I didn't really keep track of it. I would just put it on in the morning when I wake up, and I'll put it off in the evening when I go to bed. So I guess if you had it on a timer, it could really just run on autopilot. The only thing you would have to do is just give it a little spray. So let's go over the plants that I've used. In the foreground, I've made a carpet of the Hemianthus cuba, and then the red plant is the Alternanthera reiniki, the mini version. Then the mushroom type plant is the Hydrocotyl verticillata. It's a really cool plant. So I think it's my favorite plant in here. We have a couple different types of crypt. We have crypt parva, crypt petchii, and crypt walkeri, if I say that correct. The wood stump is now covered in Hydrocotyl tripartita. That's the small clover leaves. It used to be covered in moss, but I guess the moss was just not humid enough, so the moss dried out. And then I covered it with tripartita. We also have a little bit of Hygrophila pinnatifida on top of the wood stump. And what else do we have? Yeah, also on the stump there's some Anubias and some Bucephalandras, but you barely see them anymore. In the background we still have a little bit of the Pogostemon erectus. That one is not doing very well. I think it's not really getting enough light, so it's struggling a little bit. I had a huge portion of it on the other side of the wood stump as well, but that one I had to cut it away. The plants are planted in a aqua soil. Actually don't remember which brand of aqua soil it was. So yeah, I haven't given any fertilizer. But actually since a few weeks I started noticing some yellow tips on the Hemianthus cuba. So I think there is a little bit of nutrient deficiency there. Since last week I'm spraying it with reverse osmosis water with a little bit of liquid fertilizer in there. Just a tiny drop. So it's very diluted. Just a little bit of nutrients for the plants. So let's see if that makes a difference. So yeah, I think that's all the plants. Now there's no animals in here or something. I think it's definitely too small for dart frogs. I guess you could do some insects in here if you wanted to, but yeah, I would just like to focus just on the plants. I was afraid that there would maybe be some mold, because I did have a few plants that would sometimes have a leaf dying off, but I've actually never encountered any mold inside of the whole biosphere. So I don't know if I'm lucky or that just doesn't happen so easily. And what I really like about this biosphere is that it's a completely different way of enjoying nature comparing to aquascaping. It's much more low maintenance, I guess. Like, you don't have to do any water changes, you don't have to be afraid of algae. Yeah, overall it's just super nice to look at. So if you are into wabi-kusa or something like that, then yeah, biosphere is definitely a nice addition. So how do we go from here? I think I'm just gonna let it do its thing. I will keep giving it a spray every now and then and just see where it goes. Maybe in a few months I'll sort of do a rescape, try something else, try different plants. But for now I'm still very happy with how it looks, and I'm just gonna keep it going. One thing that I've started doing recently is in the evening, when I go to bed, I would put the lights off and I would actually close the air vents just to keep the humidity inside. So in the morning when I wake up, there will be this little layer of water on every single leaf. I think the plants really appreciate that. Just give a little extra water, I guess. Now, of course, you don't have to do this if it's too much work, and even if you forget, it's not a big issue. So yeah, final conclusion, I really love the biosphere. It's a super nice way to enjoy nature in a different way comparing to aquascaping. If you are into wabi-kusa and stuff like that, then this is definitely a must-have. Guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.